Hey, I'm Alan Sorenson, and a little bit about myself. I'm originally from California, then moved to Virginia, and now I'm living here in Florida. I'm pursuing a secondary math education degree because I kind of like math, and I kind of like tutoring high school kids, and maybe I can do it professionally.
Okay.
All right, state your name for the record.
Laurel Willis.
Laurel Willis.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm from South Florida, 22 years old,
Okay.
and I want to become a teacher.
All right, what is it about teaching that got you so excited?
I want to help kids that are less needy, less fortunate, and make them into a better person.
All right, and what subject do you want to teach?
Preschool.
Oh, you want to teach preschool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wide variety of.
All right, very good.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Laurel Willis.
Woo!
Hi, I'm Meghan Taylor and I'm from Daytona Beach, Florida. I want to become a special needs education teacher. A couple of years ago, I started working and volunteering with the Special Olympics. Ever since then, my life has become so much happier and more exciting through them.
Alright, my name is Sara Albertilli and I'm currently a freshman honors here at UNF. I'm originally from Minnesota, but I did move down here to Fernandina Beach about 2 years ago. One reason that I want to teach is because I really want to make a big impact on young people's lives. I think education is very important to shaping everything in our society, and I really want to be a part of that. So, yeah.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm the mom. We have 3 boys.
3?
Mm-hmm.
I have 1.
Wow, yeah, so 16.
You have your hands full.
Yeah, 16, 5, and 1.
Yeah.
I've been in education 11 years.
Okay.
I was a teacher for 4, and
Yeah.
I've been an administrator for 7.
Right.
This is my 2nd year here.
Okay. So
Um,
you're here during the big change.
yes. Mhm.
Tell me about that. Because when I moved here a little over a year ago.
Okay.
You had a different logo and everything. Looked like the Virginia Cavaliers
Yeah,
out front. Is what it looked
yeah.
like. And now it's like this whole thing's going on with it being a magnet school and
Right.
IB. Talk to me about what it was like before and what it was like after and what made that decision.
So prior to when I was here, it was a traditional neighborhood middle school,
Uh-huh.
and historically it was decreasing in enrollment and in school grade. And so
Okay.
when Dr. Vitti was here, he felt there was a need for this side of town to have some type of school choice, some type of special programming that would
Yeah.
attract more students. And so he created in his vision a school for the dedicated magnet school for the visual and performing arts.
Right.
And we're modeled after La Villa.
Okay.
And so in our first year, we underwent construction somewhere a little over $1 million worth of construction.
Okay.
And we renovated some spaces to create a black box theater, a dance studio, and we renovated our musical suite. So, and that kind of gave the school a little bit of a facelift and re-energized the students. There were some boundary changes. So with any dedicated magnet, now we can take students in from all over Duval
Right,
County.
because originally it was owned by the district.
Right. It was just zoned as far as if you lived within proximity to the school. But now it's there is no zoning.
Right.
Any student who was here previously before the change, they had to re-enroll through the magnet process. But we had seats, so if you lived in the former attendance area, then you were basically first come first serve. And then we started hosting auditions, and the audition process we modeled after La Villa. We did a lot with them.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. The principal there is a friend of mine, and so she and I collaborated and held a lot of our audition parent nights together. And so in our first year, I think we ended the year with somewhere around 460 students. And for our programs, we had dance, digital art, theater, 2D art, and band, instrumental orchestra. And so that was in our first year. The next school year, we went up 200 students in enrollment, and our school grade went from a D to a C.
Okay.
And then we were able to add musical theater and 3D art.
Uh-huh.
And so now in this year, we're just rocking and rolling. I mean, everything is moving in the right direction, and we're excited because we're all of our data sets are pushing us closer to a B. So
You've been here 2 years. What did you do before this?
I was an assistant principal.
Okay.
I was an assistant principal at A. Philip Randolph.
I think I know. Isn't it downtown?
Close. It's off Golf Fair.
Okay.
And before that, I was at Ribault High School as an assistant principal.
Okay,
Before
That's
that,
mentioned a lot in classes.
yeah, and before that, I was at Wolfson High School, and before that, I was at Ocean Way Middle.
Okay,
A
so
lot of experience.
like it was
Yeah.
a big
That's
block
awesome.
of high school. What's the transition like from that to middle, and then the change?
Yeah, so going from high school to middle, high school is very fast paced.
Is it?
Yeah, so I'll say that. I think everything about high school is. I think just because I think from the mindset of students wanting to get out of their parents' house from, you're working with a lot more of accelerated coursework, and just the events of a day. I mean, it's just so fast paced. And then coming to a middle school, it's not as fast. Our students are still, they're kind of in this quandary of I'm not elementary anymore, but I'm not independent enough as a high school student. So they're in this transitional period,
Yeah.
so to speak. So, a lot of emotions, a lot of decision making, and just judgment calls, and they're almost they almost just they can't help it,
Right.
But it's with high school. I always say you start in the beginning of the year forming relationships with students at the high school. By the end of the year, you feel like you've made connections with kids. They're gonna take your words of wisdom and they're gonna apply it to their life. With middle schoolers, you spend just as much time with them, but then by the end of the year, you're not really sure if there was a connection established or not, because they're just on this perpetual roller coaster of emotions all the time. So they might leave you, and you might go, I don't really know if they're gonna take that with them or not. But they're definitely I think, our most fragile age group, because they're just in such a quandary of
Very
emotion.
Tell me about your. Do you have a very diverse staff, or?
I do. Oh
Okay.
yeah. We are. Let me think. Our demographics of our staff mirror that of our kids.
Okay.
So I think off the top of my head, I think we're 85% African American, and then I think right after that, I want to say, I don't know, 10% Hispanic, probably 5% white. If I rough estimates there.
Okay.
But it's a very diverse population.
Okay. How's the turnover been? Has everything been stable?
Yeah, I'd
with
say
your
so.
teachers? Very good.
I think I had one leave last year to pursue graduate school.
Okay.
I had one who moved to Ohio to take another opportunity. And then if I lost any others, it was due to surplus or certification. But that was it, I think.
What are the qualifications to teach at a school like this? Is it different than
No.
an ordinary middle school? Okay,
No.
so it's the same.
Certification. Just
Okay.
you have to be certified in the area that you're going to teach.
Right.
Without falling into that out-of-field status. But no, just the same as any other school in the district.
All right. Very good. What's fundraising like? What do you guys do for fundraising?
So a lot. My arts areas all do their own fundraising.
Okay.
Because they have a lot, they do a lot with traveling and with showcases and things,
Yeah.
Costumes, props, all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so we
Yeah, they get around.
Yeah, we have a PTA, so our PTA does a lot with fundraising, and we just do a lot of in-house fundraising with kids so that we can do more for kids. So we'll do different events, dances or games. And we have athletics, so we'll charge for that. We'll do in-house, like in-school games. But we try to do things as much as we can for the kids so that we can use that money to give back to them with different incentives.
It's so cool.
Does managing a magnet school, are there any challenges versus a regular middle school?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
one well, and it's a challenge everywhere. I mean, students come to you with a unique set of strengths and talents, and students come to you with a unique set of deficits. And
Right.
so making sure as a teacher, if you have 150 kids or 130 kids, divided out among 6 classes, that you are being able to keep an eye and a laser-like focus on their unique set of abilities and challenges to reach them where they're at.
Okay.
And I mean, that is the number one challenge, I think, for any environment, any school.
Yeah,
any
I would think so.
level.
How do I get through to these kids?
Right, but I think, and it's getting through to them in a way that they will digest and make sense of. I was right before you came in, I was meeting with the teacher, and we were going through his data and looking at growth from month to month to month, and then pinpointing the ones who are at zero or
Growth
who
in
are
grades?
growth in, for this particular teacher, it was in Lexile. So we're looking at their reading level
Okay.
and charting where they were in August, September, October, and now, and looking at students who are remaining stagnant and trying to say, okay, so now let's put a plan here.
Okay.
So if they're not meeting goals, if they're not increasing at all, what's our next step to move them along? But it's revisiting those conversations all the time, so that you don't ever want to be moving in one direction and your kids aren't coming with you. So
Right. You don't want to get too far ahead.
right,
What percentage of the student body is on free and reduced lunch?
100%.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay, wow.
We're a CEP school,
Okay.
and so
Pretty
we have free breakfast and free lunch for all students.
Right.
I actually had a question.
Yeah.
How did you get the school name? Like the namesake of it?
Fort Caroline?
Yeah.
So it's been Fort Caroline since I think 1965.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, this school's been around for a long time.
Okay.
There was conversation when we started about my SAC and PTA about should we change the name, because we're now a dedicated magnet for the arts. But I met with someone not too long after I started that explained to me the history of the school and of Fort Caroline. And it's a landmark in Jacksonville. And I'm not from Jacksonville. I'm from South Florida. But my husband
Me
is.
too.
And so when I told him, I said, there's talk about changing the name to maybe, to something, maybe just Caroline School of the Arts. He was like, what? No, and so that was a good aha moment for me, because I didn't realize, okay, so never mind, I won't do that. But no, the name has been here for a long time.
What's PE the normal thing, like you got your volleyball unit, you got your basketball unit, that kind of thing?
Run the mile.
It's been forever.
Yeah.
I was really bad at the mile.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get out of here on this last question.
Okay.
So today's actually my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, happy
I am
birthday.
40 years old.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
What advice, if any, do you have? Because when I graduate, I'm going to be like 42, 43, entering Duval County Public Schools.
Sure.
I want to teach math, 6 to 12. Do you have any advice?
So the only advice that I would give you is don't start out too strong.
Right.
Seek to understand. So if you land in middle school, there's a lot of gray. There's a lot of there's black and white as far as the rules and the guidelines and what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do from a student standpoint. The most successful teachers are the ones who can see through the minutia of the teenager and get to the root of who they are.
Okay.
My best teachers are the ones who seek to understand the student, to form a relationship with them before condemning them. And so
establish that relationship
right away.
Yeah, I think it's important.
And the relationship is from you to them, not from them to get to know you.
Right.
And so I think my advice would be, from day one, get to know your kids and get to know them in a way that is genuine, and that they know that no matter what's going on, that you're an ally and that you're someone who will give them the benefit of the doubt, because that's what it's about. I mean, I can't tell you, I try to do this as a principal. I mean, there is nothing, if I see a kid who's got stains on their shirt, because we're a uniform school,
Yes.
I want to know how many shirts do you have? My kids have to pay, they have to buy their shirts, and but I'll stop whatever I'm doing to make sure that you have a clean uniform on. Let's go. I will buy them with my own money to clothe them. How did you get to school today? Why did you come in from the city bus? Why did you walk down from the city bus? Oh, because I don't think the bus comes to my house. Well, how long have you been riding the city bus and paying money to ride the city bus? Why didn't you tell me you're riding the city bus?
That's a really interesting observation.
Correct.
You would
It
pick
is.
up on that.
We're gonna fix it today.
Yeah.
You're not riding the city bus anymore.
Right.
So it's just noticing, and making sure that at the end of the day, if you're with me, whether you're my student as a teacher or you're my student as a principal, you're mine. I mean, I will treat you just like I would if you were my own biological child, and that is making sure that you are clean and clothed, and that your transportation is appropriate, and all of those extra things that may not have anything to do with the the minutia of math,
Right.
but it's about your life, and it's about being cared about. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, you sound awesome. I'd run through a wall
Yeah.
for you.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
Right on. Very